Some people are born leading, even before they know that's what they're doing. There's a type of person who walks into a room and something shifts. They don't demand attention, they earn it quietly and completely. Leaders aren't made by titles. They're made by the way they move through the world. Real leaders pay attention to people that everyone else walks past. Before anyone sees the result, a leader has already spent hours alone with the problem. Every great leader I've ever studied had one thing in common. They could sit with uncertainty. The best leaders are always the most curious people in the room. Nobody told them to walk first, they just did. And somehow others followed. Leadership isn't about being liked, it's about being trusted. The leaders who last are the ones who regularly ask themselves, am I doing this right? Teaching someone else is one of the most powerful things a leader ever does. In every format, in every room, real leadership reads the same. Real responsibility feels like standing somewhere high, alone, with the weight of knowing others are counting on you. The most underrated leadership skill is simply knowing how to be present for someone. Leaders don't wait to be given permission. They raise their hand. Leaders understand that mastery takes time, and they respect the process. There's a specific kind of energy a natural leader carries. You can feel it before they say a word. The leaders who last never stop being students. The best leaders are storytellers. They make people feel part of something larger than themselves. Great leaders have no need to perform. Their presence is already enough. The most disciplined leaders are rarely the loudest. They're the ones who've learned to control what's inside first. True leaders are the best listeners in any room, not the loudest talkers. In every high-stakes situation, people look for the same thing: someone who knows what to do next. Leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about being willing to sit with the question longer than anyone else. The moment a leader speaks, the room changes, not because of the words, because of the conviction behind them. The leaders who changed the most people did it one conversation at a time. Before anyone sees a leader perform, there are thousands of mornings they showed up when no one was watching. Leaders are people who understand how things actually work, not just in theory. Leadership is built in ordinary moments, not extraordinary ones. When a leader explains something clearly, it's because they understand it deeply. Real leaders know that no one does anything truly great alone. The way a leader treats the person serving them tells you everything about who they really are. Leaders work in the margins of time that others waste. When things fall apart, a leader doesn't ask who's in charge. They step forward. Before a leader can guide others, they have to be willing to walk somewhere alone first. The leaders who people actually love are the ones who let themselves be human. A leader who doesn't rest doesn't last. Restoration is part of the work. Leadership shows up in the smallest actions, especially the ones nobody else will do. The greatest leaders never lose their sense of wonder. It's what keeps them asking better questions. Service is not beneath a leader. For most great leaders, it's where they started. Leaders are comfortable being lost. They just keep moving until they find the way. Every time a leader communicates, they make a choice about what kind of world to describe. Leaders invest genuine attention in the people who have something to show, no matter how small. Leaders make use of every moment. They never wait passively. Leaders are fueled by something bigger than ambition. They're fueled by meaning. The leaders who shaped history shared one common trait. They genuinely cared about other people. Leaders recharge by moving, by being in their body, by remembering they're alive. The best ideas don't always start in meetings. They start in the spaces between. A leader helps, not because it benefits them, just because someone needed it. Leaders are comfortable with things that don't have clear answers. That's where everyone else stops. Discipline isn't punishment. For leaders, it's the most reliable form of freedom they know. Leaders know how to follow too. They understand every role matters. Leaders are drawn to scale. They think in horizons, not corners. The most powerful thing a leader ever does is hand their knowledge to someone else. A leader can look at something broken and see what it could become. Every leader has a ritual that connects them to their purpose before the work begins. Leaders pay attention to the world around them. They see systems, they see how things grow. A leader's most important skill isn't speaking, it's knowing what to listen for. Some of the most important things a leader learns, they learn by watching in silence. Leaders see problems the way climbers see walls, not as obstacles, as sequences to solve. Leaders show up for their community, not just when things are good. Precision, patience, doing the work again until it's right. That's leadership in a workshop and boardroom alike. Even the strongest leaders need somewhere that feels like home. Leaders remember the people behind them. They take a moment to reach back. Leaders take calculated risks, not reckless ones. They gather what they need, then they go. A leader plants trees they'll never sit under. That's what it means to think beyond yourself. Leaders finish what they start, not always first, but they finish. The capacity for wonder is what separates great leaders from merely competent ones. Real leaders stand for something, even when it costs them. Leaders absorb the stories of others. They let them in. It's how they learn to understand people. When things go wrong, a leader's first response isn't panic, it's the next step. The moment a leader believes they know enough, they stop growing. Leaders understand rhythm. They know when to move and when to wait. A leader makes everyone in the room feel that their perspective matters. The leaders worth following carry a sense of history. They understand what was sacrificed before them. Leaders reach beyond what's close. They're always trying to connect further. A leader who has learned to slow down is more powerful than one who never stops. The hardest and most important conversations are the ones most leaders avoid. The great ones don't. Standing in something ancient makes your problems feel the right size. One of the most reliable things a leader can be is simply someone who shows up. The greatest gift a leader passes on is not knowledge, it's curiosity. Every move a leader makes is 3 moves ahead. Not because they're calculating, because they've learned to think that way. The truest sign of a real leader is how they celebrate other people's wins. Sometimes leading means saying nothing and staying anyway. A leader's always looking for the view from higher up, not out of ego, out of vision. Every night a leader asks, "Did I do the right thing today?" That question is what keeps them honest. Some people were always meant to lead, not because of power or talent, but because they cared about the people around them. That's what leadership really is. Thanks for watching.